the metaverse and got into the digital realm and saw the possibilities with augmented reality and modeling and three-dimensional art. When I saw the possibilities and how far technology has come, I had the idea to continue doing what I do, continue painting the murals, but now they are three-dimensional. And by that, I mean, I have a QR code on the building that can be scanned. And when you scan that, then a three-dimensional element will appear that is part of the piece. An example is my first one is in Thomasville, Georgia, and it looks like you're standing on the surface of the moon. And when you scan the QR code, the planets and stars come out and you're in the environment and you're in the same space as these three-dimensional pieces that were sculpted. So it's just the same thing I've been doing, only I'm taking it one step further and putting a three-dimensional element in it.
Wow. That's exciting. So tell us more about the metaverse and how you're bringing art into the metaverse. Go into a little bit more detail about what that is, because I think a lot of people don't really understand what the metaverse even is.
Okay. Yeah. And I want to start off by saying I'm in no way an expert in anything digital or tech or any of that. Quite the opposite. And what impressed me the most about how far technology has come in the last decade is it's so intuitive now that anybody, even me, can do it. And if I can do it, believe me, anybody can. So the metaverse being, as a term, the digital world, the realm of the internet, and the metaverse is a different thing than the internet. But the possibilities, when I saw the possibilities of art with NFTs and selling your art online and doing things like that, I grew up in an age where the only way art was going to be seen by people is if you went to a gallery exhibit or you were invited to someone's home who had a canvas hanging in their living room. The exposure was very limited for artists. Now we live in a time where anybody can expose their art to as many people as they want to. And that alone is something that's so exciting, and it excited me so much that I started to look further into what we could do with the platform in the metaverse. And now I'm looking into an online gallery where all the NFTs are in the gallery, and eventually in virtual reality where you could put the headset on and walk through the gallery physically. And these things are just, to me, coming from growing up in a time when I grew up in a time when the phone was still attached to the wall. And growing up in that time and seeing how far it's come is I've had the benefit of seeing both worlds. I've had the benefit of, I'm 50. So where we are now is light years from where we were then.
In addition to opening up art to more people, so as you said, you're not having to travel oftentimes to big urban centers to see some of the art. What are some of the other ways that you see metaverse, the 3D world, changing art?
Well, I was talking earlier about the economy that's growing around the metaverse. Okay, the metaverse is. I explained this to somebody the other day. Think about the movie The Nightmare Before Christmas. You have a central place, and then you can go into these other domains or platforms from where you are. You can choose, I want to go here, here, here. I think eventually that's going to organically grow to a space where it's interconnected, where you no longer have to go, I'm going to go play this game and then log out and then log into another one. You're going to seamlessly travel between platforms and stores and shops. And I believe an entire economy is going to grow up around the metaverse. But the exciting thing to me isn't the economy within the metaverse, but the economy for artists in the real world. Because around this metaverse, there are jobs that are going to require people that know lighting and shading and coloring, and these environments have to be created by artists. So the economy in the real world, as opposed to the metaverse, is going to benefit immensely from the expansion of this, I think.
Yeah, that blows my mind. It's hard to really envision
It is.
But I think we're starting, like you said, we're starting to see this grow. How
Yeah.
can, if other artists who aren't familiar but who are interested in something like this, how can they begin to explore the 3D universe? What are the best tools for them to get involved?
Well, these large companies that own like Epic Games and these platforms that are out there in the metaverse, these companies see what's happening in the future. That a lot of these things are open source. I started to do 3D art on a program called Blender, and Blender is a open source program. It's a program where you can download it into your computer and you can use it as if. I come from a time when to buy a copy of Photoshop 7, it costs about $12,000. And now we have these programs that are 100 times more powerful artistically, the things you can do with them, and they're free. And they're doing this because they understand the value of nurturing a generation of artists that are going to help them build this metaverse. I really believe that's why. But that's how I got started. I just went into the internet and Googled 3D art and just took my time and explored it and started playing around with these programs. And Blender is the one that I use for sculpting. There's one that you can use on your mobile phone that's called Nomad. And two of these murals that I'm doing, all the 3D elements for these murals, I sculpted in my iPhone.
Wow.
And just the fact that you're able to do that, I still can't wrap my head around how far everything's come. It's very exciting.
Very exciting.
Yeah.
Well, let's take a quick commercial break. And when we come back, we want to hear more from you about the future of art in the metaverse and the obstacles that artists will see in this space.
Okay.
Welcome back. Our guest today is Kenny Maguire. He's an artist and muralist. And before I forget, he is always available to help emerging artists who want to begin to explore the artistic possibilities of 3D and AR. Welcome back, Kenny. What are some of the roadblocks or barriers that need to be removed?
Yeah, I made a list for that one. Well, one of the biggest things that I think, see today, an estimated 56% of the world accesses the internet via mobile devices. That's like 4.7 billion people. And the mobile aspect is really wonderful, but that leaves 40% of the people that don't have access to this stuff. You need the hardware, you need the technology, and you have to have money to have that. If people don't have the ability to have the iPhone or the tablet, then they simply don't have the exposure to this. And that was what I kind of encountered a decade ago. I didn't have the financial means I'm an artist. I didn't have the financial means to be exposed to any of this. And then when I gradually got those means and started getting my iPhone and my tablet, and it was all a very organic process. And when I finally was able to be exposed, so I think exposure is something that we need to really work on doing. And that's what I was hoping to do down in the Road Square here is get a place going where artists can come that don't normally have access to this and have headsets they can put on and tablets they can play with. And I can be there to help them and show them things. And like bridging the gap between us and the technology is kind of what I wanted to do. That's one thing. The chaos of it right now is it's opportunity because there's so many things you can do, but at the same time, there's not really a centralized structure. It's like not really centralized. So we're still trying to figure out what to do with this metaverse that's growing around us. And, the big companies like Facebook bought Oculus, they recognize what's going to happen in the future. And I mentioned the open source programs that are free. They're free because they know that the more people that are going into the metaverse in the future, economically, that's going to be good for everybody. So I think that another roadblock is we need to find, I don't know how to put this. We need to, I don't want to say like centralize it, not have the one overlord overseeing things, but get these companies who are working as individual entities to come together and work together as a group. And that's something that we've always struggled with as people. I don't think it's just that. I think it's everything. But I think that's another one. I think the financial thing and then the chaos of it right now. But again, in chaos, there's opportunity. And for artists, the opportunities are unlimited.
It definitely seems like you've jumped on that yourself. So
I have.
Kudos to you. Where do you see art going in the future?
I see unlimited possibility. I see, right now I'm talking with a company that's curating an online gallery for me. The online gallery is going to be my own platform where my NFTs, instead of putting them on Rarible or one of these other platforms and sites, it's an actual gallery that you can go to and eventually even walk around in the virtual world, put the headset on and be able to walk around, and maybe even on the way out have a gift shop that sells prints and cups and shirts and all that stuff like an actual gallery has. I mean, the possibilities are unlimited.
Kenny, how can our audience members connect with you or your organization? What's the best way?
I'm on all the social media platforms. I do have a studio site. It's kennymaguire.com. And then my email is there at the bottom of the screen. And those are the three best ways to get a hold of me.
I think I may have seen that maybe it was through Facebook or I don't know, one of the social media sites that you have an exhibit coming up.
Yes.
You want to share with us a little bit about that?
Yes, I'd love to. The last mural I painted in Thomasville, Georgia, I met the curator for the gallery at Tallahassee Community College. And she saw what I was doing with the mural and suggested to me, why don't we do a gallery show where the canvas is there, and then when they scan the code on the canvas, the 3D element will be in the gallery. So I'm going to be doing an exhibit of the augmented reality arts at Tallahassee Community College on January 13th through February 10th of next year.
That's really exciting. And I like too that an institution of higher learning
Yes.
is recognizing.
Yes. Well, that's important. I think that legitimizing these things, and like I said earlier, that the creativity, the possibility for creativity is something that it's bigger than it's ever been before. I mean, for artists in general, never at a time in history have we ever had the tools available for self-expression and creativity that we have today. We've never had the opportunities like we have today. And the fact that an institution of higher learning recognizes that and is embracing it and promoting it, and I think it's wonderful. We need more of that.
Well, Kenny, thank you so much for joining us today. You have been a wealth of knowledge, and we really do appreciate you coming on and sharing your thoughts. Everyone, our show discusses all topics related to the metaverse. And if you'd like to suggest a guest or become a sponsor, please reach out to us. Our emails are going to pop up on the screen in just a second. And don't forget to like and subscribe to our show. And of course, share it on your social media channels. And of course, keep in touch with Kenny. He's doing some really great things. Signing off from the Metaville, I'm Jeanne Curtin.
Thank you.
And I'm Joy. Goodbye.
Bye, Kenny. Thanks.
Thanks. Wow.